You're here again. Very good. Welcome to Derbyshire, here in North Mercia, in Angleland, where there is a tale of an evil spirit, a malevolent entity that has its home in a place called Cromford. And Cromford, well, its name, it's made of two parts. The second, Ford, obviously a crossing place on a river, and it's the River Derwent that runs along there. An old Celtic British name, meaning a river surrounded by oak trees. And, Crom, in fact, people say, that comes from the name used for the old Celtic god Crom Cruach. The crooked god, to whom many a sacrifice was made in the Iron Age, before the Romans or the Angles ever set foot upon these shores. And so his name was remembered in later times, even after Christianity had arrived here in this area. And it's said that there are many sightings of a creature, a force, shall we say, calling itself Crooker, over the generations. And this is one of them. Good day to you, Bragi.
Hello there, take care. What are you doing today?
I was, just telling the good audience about a tale here from Derbyshire called Crooker.
Oh, indeed. What's it about? I missed that.
Well, it begins, you see, one midsummer night. There was a traveller making his way up north. He'd come all the way from Derby, what used to be called Northworthy.
Oh, yes.
And travelling up north through Derbyshire, past the villages of Lee and Holloway.
On foot or horse?
Oh, on foot.
Ah.
Yes, absolutely.
The
all
best way
by
to
himself.
travel.
Well, it would be, were it not for the weather. Big winter. And it was one of those evenings where the wind was blowing hard. Rain was lashing down in sharp showers. And when he stopped at those villages, like Lee and Holloway, each time they said to him, don't go any further. No, stay where you are. You can stop with us for the night. You don't want to go that way, not on a night like this one, for fear of Crooker.
Oh, I'm scared already.
Well, he had a mission, though, that's the thing.
Is he a werewolf or something?
All become clear.
Well, what?
Because he didn't let this put him off. Oh, no, he carried on. And, there came a point, going along that narrow right route by the side of the Derwent, up there, where there's a ridge on one side with that narrow path going along it and churning river on the other side. And, it was tough going. But after a while, he came across a young girl, and she was dressed all in green. And strangely enough, because it was raining, she seemed perfectly dry. The water didn't seem to have touched her at all. And she greeted him and said to him, I beg of you, don't carry on with this journey tonight for fear of Crooker. But he explained that he had a mission to perform and was determined to see it done. And so she gave him a gift. And this was a bunch of primroses.
Oh.
And
Flowers?
Well, exactly, in the middle of winter. It was amazing. Incredible. But,
Magic.
Surely so.
Supernatural indeed.
Well, there she was, dressed all in green, after all, very much an elf colour. And he thanked her. He went on his way. And after that, about half an hour later, he met another woman. And she was rather older, middle-aged, very matronly. And she said the same thing to him, gave him her advice. Do not continue on your way for fear of Crooker. Nevertheless, he wasn't to be put off, and so she gave him, this time, a bunch of bluebells. as if they'd just flowered, perhaps, in spring or early summer. And he thanked her, carried on. And the third person he met, again, dressed in green like the previous two women. Oh, she was very much older, a grandmother. And she gave him one more warning. I beg you, for the sake of your life, turn around, take lodgings at the villages that have already offered you a roof for the night. Don't continue for fear of Crooker. But, no, he still went on his way. But not before she'd given him some St. John's wort.
Oh!
That's a herb here in Derbyshire.
Yes.
That says have very magical properties.
Calming.
Oh, yes. And, suitably armed with the primroses, the bluebells, and the St. John's wort, he continued. And yeah, the weather only got worse, as you can imagine.
Cold out today.
North Derbyshire, midwinter.
Best county.
But at the moment, the weather's fine. But it can be foul. And, after a while, a storm was brewing. And the Derwent, it was churning there, only a few feet away from where he was walking. There were times when it started to surge, almost threatened to carry him away.
Rapid.
Into the current. Yeah. And there were parts of the bank that were getting so waterlogged that mud and rocks were starting to tumble down. And in the dark, it was very hard to see those coming. And brambles and tree roots that threatened to trip him up at any moment.
What's them roots?
Oh, yeah. And so he was most disturbed when he heard a noise coming from up on the bank. He looked up and he saw a great dark shadow. And he stopped for a moment and he heard a voice. Crooker! Crooker! I'm hungry. Give him to me. And the traveller, just without thinking, by instinct, well, he had the primroses in his hand at that moment. He hurled them into the heart of that dark shadow. He heard what sounded like a shriek. And then, as quick as he could, he went on his way. Mind you, it was only a short while later. Well, he heard a similar noise coming from behind him. He looked again. It was the shadow returning. And this time, it seemed to be stretching out great arms. He seemed to feel cold, hard fingers clutching at his back. And so immediately he whirled around, took out the bluebells, threw those at the shadow. Once more, it howled, recoiled, and he made his escape. But one more time he saw the apparition, and this time it was right in front of him. Crooker! Crooker! I'm hungry! Give him to me! And now he threw the St. John's wort right into its dark heart. And this time it screamed in pain. And he ran for his life, past it, and made his way to a holy place just short of Confronting itself, where made his way into the building on that holy ground where he knew he was safe, slammed the door shut, and that's where the people of Cromford found him the next morning.
Oh.
And he told them his tale. And of course it seemed quite fantastic. You can imagine, can't you, Bragi, if somebody said this to you.
Unbelievable.
You'd think they'd had a little bit too much mead.
Oh yeah, or French wine.
But what made them think was
cider.
This, you see.
Yes.
They found an ash tree. So it rooted itself from the ground amongst the oaks, and it was yards away from the bank. And lying there on the ground with its branches outstretched, and her fingers, twigs, very knobbly ones, extended as if they'd been trying to claw at someone or something. But stranger still, when they looked down the road, by the River Derwent, they found 3 bunches of flowers.
Really?
Oh, yes, indeed. Spring flowers. They're in the heart of winter. And
Unbelievable.
the herb, the St. John's wort, the bluebells, and the primroses. They marvelled at that. And this was the proof, of course, that the traveller's story was true. And, well, for now, that's the end of it. And thank you all very much indeed for listening.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Bragi and I would like to thank you
Oh, yes.
for your
It's
time.
amazing how these things go in threes, these
certainly
stories.
is.
And once you join a battle, I fell into it with it. So it kind of reminded me of that. It was most amusing, and my shield floated away. Honestly.
So, thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Good health. Wassail.
Yes, like the video. I'm going that way now.